Hi, this is Jeff from the North Versailles Library. Today I would like to discuss the film A Passage to India. In 1928, Adela Quested, Judy Davis, and Mrs. Moore, Peggy Ashcroft, leave England to visit Mrs. Moore's son, Ronnie, in India. He is a civil magistrate of Chandrapur. It is expected that Ronnie and Adela will marry, and she will stay on in India. While Ronnie and the other English bureaucrats feel quite at ease, sequestered in their enclaves, which are off limits to Indians, Mrs. Moore and Adela feel deprived by their isolation. They want to see the real India. One evening, Mrs. Moore wanders away from a dreadfully boring play at the British Club and goes to see a nearby mosque. Her presence startles Dr. Aziz, a Muslim doctor who has stopped there to rest after being snubbed by his British superior. The initial surprise turns into instant rapport between them when Mrs. Moore explains that she has respectfully taken off her shoes and that she believes God is here. Mrs. Moore is like no other Englishwoman Dr. Aziz has ever met. They see each other again at a tea party hosted by Richard Fielding's James Fox, the English headmaster of a college. He has also invited a Hindu pundit, Professor Godbol, Alec Guinness. Adela and Mrs. Moore have a wonderful time until Ronnie appears and rushes them away. He disapproves of their mingling with natives. During the party, Dr. Aziz had offered to take the ladies on a sightseeing excursion to the Marabar Caves outside Chandrapur. The day becomes a turning point in British-Indian relations. Adela accuses the Muslim of trying to rape her. There are no witnesses, and despite Fielding's protestations, Dr. Aziz is arrested and brought to trial. Mrs. Moore, overcome by exhaustion and the shock of this experience, leaves for England and dies aboard ship. At the trial, the British tried to use the case as evidence of Indian inhumanity, whereas the natives rally around Dr. Aziz to expose the injustice of English rule. Adela, meanwhile, must learn the truth of Mrs. Moore's observation that India forces one to come face to face with oneself. A Passage to India is based on E.M. Forster's 1924 novel, in which the author exposed the Anglo-Indian problems as resulting from an underdeveloped heart on the part of the British. This screen version of the story, which was written and directed by David Lean, graphically depicts the racist and imperial attitudes of the English in colonial India. Lean has added a scene in which Adela views some Hindu erotic statues, thus altering the emphasis of the story from that of Forster's novel. Still, the major contrast between Eastern and Western attitudes remains intact. In an essay on Forster's novel, Peter Burrow describes it as one of the most aesthetically compact books ever written, whose thought, like music's, cannot be fixed, nor its meaning defined. The film convincingly depicts the strangest of India and the cross-cultural misunderstandings that ensue from the incident at the Marabar Caves. The key character in the story is Mrs. Moore, portrayed by Peggy Ashcroft, who won an Academy Award for this performance. She intuits Dr. Aziz's innocence, criticizes her son's lack of character, respects Adela's flinty individualism, and understands Professor Godbol's vision of destiny. A Passage to India is a literary riddle that every viewer is challenged to decipher in light of his or her own perceptions of human passion and prejudice. Enjoy. Thanks for listening. Stay safe.